Away we go. Four-time champions Mexico are hunting down a 13th medal in Pan Am Games men's football and a 9th in succession. 2 golds, 3 silvers and 3 bronzes is the return in a run that stretches all the way back to 1991 in Havana, when they were beaten in the final by the USA. That's the one and only American triumph in the 72-year history of these games. They have finished with a bronze on 2 other occasions, 1959 and 1999. And indeed, if they get third here and a medal, that will be a successful return of sorts, really, on their return to the football competitions. Michael Nsiam was the under-16 coach, still is the under-16 coach, given responsibility for the under-19 team in the fall, coming into these games. And with the under-19 teams they've brought, the men's and women's, the medal return, you have to be realistic. There's a success of sorts, really. So, plenty of possession in the early exchanges here. Mexico have kept their team more settled. There's been a lot of rotation, actually, in terms of the USA ranks. They're trying to have competition in every single position, and it's going to be very interesting to see Vaughn Coville here, how he copes from the off. Mexico winning the corner. Zetson Ayon there, the Querétaro player. Ricardo Cadena is the Mexican coach, former defender during his career, a member of the Mexico Olympic team himself, played in Barcelona in 1992, those Olympic Games, won a single cap for the national senior team just over 30 years ago now. Most recently coach at club level of Guadalajara. Like a lot of these coaches in these football tournaments, appointed over the summer, and the various federations decided who they were going to bring to these Pan Am Games. Thumping volley from Jordan Carrillo, who's going to be dangerous. Corner came from Fulgencio. He's certainly got hold of that, hasn't he? Always wide. So it could be an emulation here of the USA women for the men's team. They took down Argentina in the bronze yesterday at the Elias Figueroa in Valparaiso, Carrie Queaton's under-19 women's team. Beating Argentina for the 2nd time in the space of 3 matches. It's all Mexico in the early stages here. It wasn't the best option from Ayon. I mean, he's got Raul Embriz up with him, one of 2 there with Gonzalez moving into the area, but Ayon has tried to be a hero there, and he's blazed that way over the bar. But at least the USA women were on the podium again. The USA women's team in the football at the Pan Am since 2007. But it's an important staging post on the way to the Paris Olympic Games next year, which will be an age-level competition for the men. It's an under-23 tournament, football at the Olympics. The women have their senior sides. It's a prestigious prize to play for. That's very loose indeed from Williams. Look at that touch, so heavy. Gifted possession back for Fulgencio. Mexico with the overlapper as well, Rafael Fernandez, the left-sided fullback. We're going to switch it this time to Alfonso Monroy on the right. That's good hassling play by Vaughn Coville. Looks like he's going to start on the left of the front 3. Koba playing through the middle. He's basically challenging Rodrigo Neri for that spot up front. Tegari Koba Certainly offers something a little bit more physically. I think Ikoba, a taller player, seems to be a little stronger. Mauricio Cuevas, first touch for him. Seemed limited playing time in the middle of the park. Generally gone with Reigns as a mainstay, as a defensive shield for the back four, with one of either Leiva or Casas. Casas gets the nod today, wearing 18. Mauricio Isaias well forward. There he is again. On the overlap, we've got Carrillo jinking and jiving. From what I've seen from Jordan Carrillo, does have that tendency. There's a lot of trickiness about him, but like a lot of the creative players, you need to marry that natural instinct to dribble and to take opponents on with the correct decision making, when to release, when to bring your teammates into the equation. Hopkins loses out. Mexico get possession back. And you would think, psychologically more than anything, just to remind themselves that you have to get in amongst the opposition. The US will, I'm sure, want to test Fernando Tapia as soon as is humanly possible here, after going through that semi-final with the princely sum of 0 shots. Not just nothing on target, no shots full stop. It's a stunning return, really. Yeah, chasing a match like that in particular, expect a little bit more from your forward players. They were eventually undone by a goal by Cesar Perez. 12 minutes into the second half, it was a wonderful free kick that from Perez. Even in that last half an hour or so, nothing tested the goalkeeper. It's a little bit loose, and perhaps they're lucky to get away with that. Cuevas was presented with a good opportunity there to pick it up. Fulgencio. They switch it well. Pulled across by Gonzalez. That's away. Wenzel. One previous start for Wenzel in the group stages. Again, all the combinations are being tried out here, and it's all about striking that balance, isn't it? Trying to be competitive, going on to try and win a competition like this, and then just measuring that with giving everyone playing time, seeing if they can get 2 full first strength 11s. If they can get a medal playing that way, I'm sure the US would classify it as a win here. This is Freeman. Needed that challenge from Rafa Fernandez. Corner. Cuevas from LA Galaxy. Played 2 matches for the United States B team. Here he's sent in the corner. A lot of white shirts. Out for another corner. Pressure as we head towards the 10-minute mark created by the United States. Mexican keeper decides to flap that away. No pressure on him. Could have caught it. There goes Hopkins. 2-on-1. Squeezes to Freeman. Now then, good shot, well saved. In behind at last, a shot from the USA, Coville. That's more like it, direct. A forward player taking on the responsibility of testing a goalkeeper. Coville certainly struck it well. Delightful ball played into him by Brooklyn Rains. And Mexico, well, they were all over this show. So Vaughan Coville, born in Salisbury actually, in the south of England. Has played just once for Hull this season. It was in the EFL Cup, the League Cup competition in England. Had a half against Doncaster Rovers. .20 is Coville. Another good corner, and Ikoba meets it that time. It's over the bar. Much better, much more aggressive in attack from the United States here. Two presentable chances for Vaughan Coville and Tegari Ikoba. Jordan Carrillo hasn't played yet. Carrillo for Sporting Gijón. Clearly a good prospect. You suspect he's one of those players who's quite frustrating to play alongside Carrillo. At 21, he's trying to break into the Gijón team. Plays for the B team in Segunda in Spain. They're actually having a good season, Gijón. Looking for a return to La Liga, 5th currently. Norris, he looks a really accomplished left back, does Nolan Norris. Had a good tournament. 2 appearances for FC Dallas in MLS for Norris. Still only 18. Tom Williams, he's from Orlando City. Youngest first team signing in the club's history, actually, at 16 in 2021. Tom Williams, US skipper for the day. Here he is. Carrillo with that touchdown. Fulgencio. A rangy ball. Direction of Fernandez. It's got to tuck back into position now. As the US hit that long, it's Hopkins. Jackson Hopkins robbed by the fullback. Well played, Monroy. Well played. Coville started really well here. Shipped out wide by Cuevas. Freeman forward. Yep. A bit unfortunate with the cross there. Alex Freeman. Hey ho. The USA have certainly started the brighter here. That was Coville's attempt. Here's Aon. No flag. Monroy. USA work it clear. Kobil. Koba is the runner. Goalkeeper commits himself. Yeah, nice read of the play there from Tapia. There certainly wasn't much handshaking at the end of the Chile semi-final, was there? It ended as a particularly bad-tempered affair, that. I mean, we've been given a good indication of how serious Chile's men and women have approached the competition with the strength of their first 11s. It was quite extraordinary, actually, that in the women's final last night, as I'm sure you may have heard, their two goalkeepers, including Christiane Endler, the legend, were called back to their clubs in Europe. The clubs under no obligation necessarily to let their players stay on international duty longer than the FIFA window, which ended the day before the final. So Endler, I'm afraid, was called back to Europe and back to Lyon. The reserve backup keeper as well, so it ended as being Maria Urrutia, the striker, who played in goal for Chile in that gold medal match and had an absolute blinder as well. We hear too that she's going to be the flag bearer for Chile at the closing ceremony at the Estadio Nacional tomorrow night. It's an extraordinary and slightly sad way to end for Endler, who announced her retirement from the national team also. So her last game was the semi-final. At least she went out on a winning note. Fulgencio. They're trying that weave, and that's a clear chop down by Brooklyn Rains. Well, another who, as much as Michael Insean will allow anyone to be a regular starter, he's certainly in that bracket, and he gets that tackle all wrong. Header on target, but no worries for Chitaro Adonza. Rafael Fernandez with the attempt. Left back for Mexico, unopposed with that header. Norris. Transition phase, Norris trying to feed it up into Casas. Pass was heavy. Casas unable to help it onto Ikoba, so Mexico have the ball back. Leone. Monroy helps it on. There goes Fulgencio. Monroy, well played. Yeah, Norris gets back, sharp tackle. So sharp, in fact, that it's bounced back off Monroy and out for the goal kick. So this is the chance from the free kick, all alone there. Rafa Fernandez from Fulgencio's delivery. Blindside runner. USA will have to watch out for that. Veterans are not seriously tested though. There's Isaias. Carrillo. And so good possession this from Mexico. US remaining well organised, finally the cross in, but not of the correct quality to involve either Gonzalez or Aon from that. Sias who played it across. I mean, that's possession given back to the US, but they can do nothing with it. Useful ball over the top. Again, there's just too much heat on it as it bounces away from Aon and into the arms of Odunze. Wenzel. Bit of room here for Brooklyn Reigns. Carrillo trips him. Free kick here for the US. Unopposed, the header, double save must be. Ikoba forces it in. Mexico's defending was all over the place. First attempt from Wenzel, no challenge on him whatsoever. It was well fielded, but the US had a second attempt. That was blocked. And finally, Tega Ikoba forces the ball over the line. Look at that, the room for Wenzel there. Then the follow-up shot, only half saved. Freeman with attempt number 2. Finally, third time lucky for Tega Ikoba. Nice technique to steer that over the line. Mexico, though, went to sleep. Are they expecting a whistle there, a flag? Well, the old adage, play to the whistle. And Mexico forgetting it, and midway through the first half, the USA are ahead against Mexico. It is Tega Ikoba from Portland Timbers. A scorer in MLS this year, Tega Ikoba, has one here for the US under-22s. It's Rafa Fernandez being given short shrift from the referee. So a breakthrough goal here for Team USA in the bronze medal match. Mexico have won 3 of the last 5 bronzes on offer in men's football at the Pan Am Games. Beaten semi-finalists in 03, but they beat Colombia for 3rd in Santo Domingo. Same happened in Rio 4 years later. Hopkins looking to switch it across. Mexico just a little bit rattled at present. And then most recently, Lima 4 years ago, Mexico beat Uruguay having lost in the semi-final. Carrillo. Monroy comes back through Antonio Leone. Rafa Fernandez. This is useful here from Mexico. The weave on the outside. And the cross, even a genuine attempt, is lifted past the far post there by Fulgencio. Finding himself on the left there, Fulgencio. Is he trying to just chip that in off the far post? I suspect he might be. Fulgencio, the 2023 Clausura champions. Tigres. He's a part of that team. Is Fulgencio. Again, knows what he's doing. The young players out there just at the beginnings of what they hope will be a long, successful playing career. Aon with that foot in. Still going Aon. He's held it up really well. Messias. Aon made the run, put out by Freeman. This is the response Mexico needed after the concession of the opening goal here. Good defensive header that time from Wenzel. He's done enough just to divert it away from any kind of danger. Fulgencio with his Mexico corner. There's the header. Good work back there for the US. Yeah, it seemed like Wenzel who got the challenge in. Having a good game so far, Michael Wenzel. No foul there. Until again, rather than just hoofing it long, he was able to find Casas as the USA build. Fulgencio's come back to the right-hand side here. They go long. Here's Monroy. Puts it away from Norris. Monroy just wouldn't come down in time. Hopkins back there. There's Rains. Goalkeeper can't pick that up. Rains does well. Brooklyn Rains does really well to dribble that out of danger. Ah, the pass is too heavy. Well, what on earth has happened there? Right in front of the benches, Brooklyn Rains has taken a whack. There's no need for that from Fulgencio. Unsurprisingly, Jackson Hopkins is involved. He's always got plenty to say. Gets involved physically, Hopkins. Well, this is the angle that will show us what happened. There's absolutely no need for that, is there, from Fulgencio? Silly boy. First booking in this bronze match. Here's the half an hour gone. 8 p.m. tonight. You can catch the gold medal match in men's football. We'll have a new name on the trophy. No Argentina here in Chile, defending their 2019 gold medal. So it may be Chile. They would love it if they were able to win their first ever football gold medal. Only ever been in one final before, Chile. 1987 in Indianapolis, when they were beaten by Brazil, their opponents tonight. That coincidentally is the last time Brazil won it. The last of their 4 titles. Closest Brazil have come since 2015 in Toronto, when they won the bronze match by beating Panama. Coville. It's got a little bit quiet after a bright start for Coville. Had a good shot that was saved by Tapia. So Wenzel, they totally lost him there. And then Freeman does well to squeeze it across. Again, Tapia struggles a bit. And it's finally turned over the line by 20-year-old Tigger Ikoba. Iowa-born, homegrown player with the Portland Timbers, Ikoba. Player of Nigerian descent. And an MLS scorer earlier this year. Delightful float on that pass. Mexico building down the left. Fulgencio. Low cross in. Carrillo on the turn. Brilliant defending. That's absolutely wonderful. Nolan Norris scoops that off the line because Adunza was beaten. Well, wasn't quite going in. The ball was about to be tapped in, though, by Brian Gonzalez, wasn't it? That was brilliant from Norris. Corner, though. Might break for a green shirt, not quite. Ikoba gets it clear. Then the follow-up shot hits Ikoba. It was Eric Lira who had that attempt, has to get back now because Alex Freeman's away and just loses control. Mexico dig in. Fulgencio. Here he is, Fulgencio. It needed touching over by Adunza. Reasonably outrageous attempt. Well, that's what Fulgencio is saying. The goalkeeper has saved that. He's touched it last. Didn't take much of a graze off Adunza, and it's not been given. Fulgencio, the only Mexican yellow card. I think Brooklyn Reigns as well was booked for his part in being kicked. Make of that what you will. But Fulgencio doing as much as anyone here to get Mexico back on terms. He's retreating from an offside position there was Edson Ayon. So the flag is up. Yeah, good call. Waiting to see if he was going to be involved in that phase. Ayon. Which of course he was. Aon is the furthest forward. The cross is easily dealt with, though, by Chitaru Adunza, who was a two-time starter at the under-17 FIFA World Cup in 2019. The US involved in the Pan Am Games for the 13th time in the 19 men's football competitions. US won it in 1991 in Havana. Kobe Jones, Casey Keller, Claudio Reyna, all part of that team. The players that would go on to feature heavily and become pretty much legends in their own right for the senior team. And those other podium finishes: Chicago 1959, Winnipeg 1999. Casas. Norris. First time ball from Norris. Mexico can break. Carrillo wanted too long on the ball. Casas snaps it up. Clear foul on Hopkins. Wasteful free kick. Fulgencio. Head down, goes on the charge. Monroy in support. Hopkins does well. But the USA have to defend the second phase here. Koba, toe end on it. It's going to work loose to Norris. The up and under. And it gives Fernandez a little bit of chasing back to do. Clever play. An awkward attacking situation turned into a corner by Brian Gonzalez. He's just thumped that there against Tom Williams. Another Mexico corner into the box. Oh, the US missing the chance to get it away. The shot is dealt with. Inside the last 5 minutes of the first half in Vina del Mar. USA lead Mexico in this bronze match in the men's football. at the Pan Am Games in Chile. Nicely worked. Oh, he's done well. And he's then challenged Isaias. Wanted that extra touch, you don't blame him for it. And that pass is all over the place. Has a bit of aggression about him, Fulgencio. If anyone's going to get Mexico back into this contest, it's him. Driving presence, flits around behind Ion and Gonzalez. The front two. Norris fires that long diagonal. Then into a very good ball as well for Alex Freeman. Across it comes near post. And that's a good challenge denied, Mauricio Cuevas. Direct that from the US, is super pass. Fact that it's come back off Cuevas. Not even a corner for the US there. It's a good, smart move though. Monroy, I'm going to shout for handball there. An advantage played, it's still Monroy. And there's the follow-up attempt from Carrillo, which squeezes through Adonza. Well, that's not one the American goalkeeper is going to want to see again. Carrillo makes it 1-1, and Adonza knows that that's a booby. Jordan Carrillo from Sporting Gijón at the end of the first half here pulls Mexico level. Norris for once couldn't deal with Monroy, and that should be straightforward for the goalkeeper. I'm afraid that's just a basic error. Reminds me actually of Jurgen Garcia, the Honduras keeper, who led a real soft attempt from Danny Ruiz of Colombia through on match day 1 of the group. Carrillo has a goal, Mexico a level. Good play though, wasn't it, in the build-up down this right-hand side by Monroy. Carrillo, the former Santos Laguna player, a big prospect there, got his move to Spain. Well, it's quite taken off for him in Segunda there. Give it time.
Additional time, 2 minutes.
2-minute stoppages. Been a bright, open game. There haven't been many injury issues. Stoppages for whatever reason. I think of really is that coming together of Brooklyn Reigns and Fulgencio, which resulted in yellow cards for both. Wenzel Spins that long. Hopkins, the ball is back to him. It's Hopkins. And Mexico just about survived today. Hopkins still with it. The ball had dribbled out. Goodness knows what happened there. It was a heck of a reach there from Hopkins to bring that ball down to begin with. A huge pass out from Michael Wenzel. And after that, it was pure ping pong. Plays a 1-2 effectively there, Hopkins, doesn't he, with Leone? And then it's each man for himself. Ball trickles out, a real scare for Mexico at the end there. Hopkins close to restoring the lead for the United States. We will have extra time if this is level after 90. It's going to be level after 45. Koba from Coville there. Casas. There we go, all square then at the break here in Vina del Mar. Really a different then shape to the United States here in this second half. Cudi Pietro, who's got plenty of invention around him. A goal earlier in this tournament against Honduras. He came from behind to win it. Gonzalez is the player taken off for Mexico, thus allowing Jesus Brigado to play here. The second 45. Yeah, Nolan Norris has come off, so let's have a look who's going to slot back to left-sided fullback. I mean, Cudi Pietro plays on the left, but he's a more attack-minded player. Isaias getting forward at the start of this second half for Mexico, who are looking to continue their spectacular medal run in men's football at the Pan Am Games. And the 1-2 from Brooklyn Reigns. Works that with Vaughan Coville. Ikoba takes the defender with him. It's Fernandez and Monroy there. Safety in numbers for Mexico. They're able to stifle it. And indeed run out from the back. So it was an entertaining first half, that. Keen on going to win it in 90 by the looks of things, and want to finish with this medal. It would be a big deal. That's Wenzel who scores that crunching challenge. Chips it in field there to Vaughan Coville. Freeman. 6 shots for the USA in that first half. Mexico had 8 shots, 3 of them on target, 4 of them on target for the US. Hopkins. Hopkins goes for goal. Ambitious, shall we say that, from Hopkins. Cutting in from the left-hand side, trying to bend it. Not sufficient fizz on that. And within the opening 3 minutes of the second half, it's clear that Tegari Koba has had some kind of contact with someone or something. that has resulted in the drawing of blood. Might end up with a shiner at this rate. Fulgencio going to run out the US. Carrillo wasn't on the same wavelength. And that's straightforward. That's a bit aimless. And I do hope we're not going to have a stop-start whistle happy second half here. There was a real pep, a real energy and dynamism to both teams across that first 45 minutes. And a bit of needle as well, just on the right side of the limit. Lira. This is Leone's pass. Raul Ambriz. Carrillo. Fulgencio takes it on. This is good interplay here from Mexico. If the final ball is good, it's so good that Fulgencio has shipped it in at the near post. Good move that from Mexico. And the USA caught cold. It was quick, slick passing. A really precise, punchy ball in from the right-hand side. And Raimundo Fulgencio has drifted through to flick that delightfully past Chitaro Adunza. Good cross, lovely little finish. Well, Wenzel has been strong all game up until that point. Fulgencio just loses him. Tidy little finish, snuck in at the near post by Raimundo Fulgencio of Tigres. Very, very good finish. First goal of the tournament. I mean, if you want to break it down, that's actually only the... well, is that? Yeah, it is. It's the first goal that a Mexican has actually scored in this competition. The win over Uruguay that got them through to this stage came courtesy of an own goal. That was on the back of a 1-0 defeat to Chile and 0-0 to Dominican Republic. And then, of course, they lost the semi-final 1-0. Two in this game, though. There's a little weave through. Oof. Dundee commits himself, has to block that off from Isaias. So steps in the right direction, certainly for Mexico, and the US have just lost their way a bit at the start of the second half. They messed around with the formation a bit. Norris, one of their best players, has been taken off. Carrillo. Fulgencio. Fulgencio still there, draws that challenge. Put out by Freeman. Corner. Laid in short, players tumbling, and the shot squeezed wide at the near post. Messias taking it on after Etseneon tumbled. Actually look for something here. He's tangling with Brooklyn Reigns. There'd been more of a shout had there not been a chance immediately after there for Maurizio Isaias. And Jordan Hopkins is hurt. In full of running this whole tournament. And maybe the demands are taking their toll. Seems to be cramp. We all know how painful that can be. Hopkins withdrawn for the obvious replacement, Jack Panayotou. I'm quite sure that's earlier than Michael Inseam would have wanted to bring Panayotou into things. But Hopkins has played his last minutes here at the Pan Am Games. Panayotou again, been quite impressed by him. Creative player. Runs at the opposition, that's his instinct. Yeah, it's Maurizio Cuevas who's dropped to play at left back in the absence of Norris. But since that change of personnel, they're not looking remotely as slick. There's the cross away from Ikoba. Two stationed in the area. Delivery needs to be a little bit better and whipped in at superior pace, really. That's Raul Ambriz who tied it up for Mexico. Mexico free kick. Certainly has been a game with two halves, hasn't it, thus far? Second half hasn't had anything like the dynamism and flow we saw in the first. There's Panayotou drilled forward by Leone, right forward to Fulgencio. Carrillo takes it on, has Isaias as the target, into the near post. Well dealt with. Panayotu spins it out wide, needs a good cross, it's behind them all. And no one on the retrieval either. And Fulgencio just to roll it forward here. Fulgencio, nice one-touch stuff. Carrillo has a bit of room. Left-hand side, it's Jordan Carrillo, he's cutting inside, slips it. And then the next player in line chips it, Brigido. Easy for them to come forward though. Aon with that ball just arrowed a tad behind him at the near post. Couldn't rearrange. Wenzel. Just runs away from Freeman. Drop of the shoulder and surge from Coville. Yeah, Vaughan Coville's barely had a kick in this second half, the Hull City man. Been largely frustrating since half-time for Vaughan Coville. Scoring the FA Youth Cup. Spent a lot of time on loan in his spell thus far with Hull City. He had a bad injury at the start of 22-23. Ruled him out for the rest of the campaign. Only slowly picking up the pace again here, and quite honestly it shows. Not entirely sure that Chile match was tailor-made for someone like Coville, in truth, with the physicality needed really to go toe-to-toe with the hosts. Ricardo Cardena and Mexico protecting a 2-1 lead here in this bronze medal match in men's football at the Pan Am Games. We've had just over an hour at the Estadio Sausalito in Vina del Mar. Mexico free kick. And the back header, Cudi Pietro defending it at the cost of a corner. Theodore Cudi Pietro, hit and miss so far. DC United, scored 5 goals for them this season. Goalkeeper has missed it, and that's a let-off for the USA. It's headed wide. Antonio Leone, he's not had the most comfortable match here, Chitaru Adunza. Let's be perfectly honest about this. Messias has taken a clattering at some stage as well in the commotion. But that was a good corner sent to the back stick. How long will it be before he makes further changes? They've made the requisite 5. And every match so far, Michael and Cian, we've got Cudi Pietro and Panayotu off the bench so far for the United States. Maybe Neri for Ikoba at some stage up front. Certainly the US haven't looked anything like the team they were with Norris on the pitch. USA lead the medals table at the Pan Am Games, 249 medals in total. If they turn this around, it would be a 79th bronze medal for the USA. In Mexico currently on 46 bronzes, 123 medals in total, 47 golds. They're actually third on the medals table overall. Mexico behind Brazil and the USA. Although Canada have got more medals overall, Mexico have more golds than the Canadians. 5 more, in fact. Wenzel deals with the long ball. Casas helps it on. There goes Coville. No, he just hasn't got it, has he? That match sharpness you need. There goes Cudi Pietro. And Panayotu. As Cuevas is the option. And Cuevas with that cross, not enough height. Nice idea, but delivery not good enough. Freeman, good run this. Alex Freeman, 2 Mexicans with him. The touch on there from Javier Casas, and then the challenge on Panayotu. Offside decision in amidst it all. Sometimes all about tempo, isn't it? And keeping that energy up. The USA haven't really done that in this second half. They want an improvement here as we head towards the last 20 minutes, as Mexico slowly close in on yet another medal performance. It really is quite a stunning and impressive run of podium finishes. The last time they didn't, remember, finish 1, 2 or 3 in men's football at the Pan Ams, 1995. The games that year were in Mar del Plata. Mexico won the group in 1995. Here come the US. Useful. Panayotu made the run. Well snuffed out by Tapia. All the way back, and the US just crying out for a spark from somewhere. I mean, the usual candidates to do that here are Panayotu or Cudi Pietro, if they can involve them. There is Panayotu. Oh, and it kicked up against the hand. It's just not happening right now. Looks like we're going to need a bit of intervention here from the medical crew from Mexico. Just the physicality of this competition is taking its toll now on our players. You've got to see the last 20 minutes out. The USA really need to pick me up from somewhere. Rafa Fernandez from Tijuana is the player who needs the assistance. Jesus Garza is going to be the replacement here, the 23-year-old from Tigres.
Mexico, out, number 2.
Well, the initial replacement here is of Alfonso Monroy.
Number 13.
Suggests that they think Fernandez will be okay to continue. Raul Ambriz. Pass to Carrillo wasn't good. Freeman, the referee lets that challenge go, and Alex Freeman carrying it on here for the USA. That's where you need the left-sided fullback, just to be bombing on. And the momentum is lost there for the US in the middle of the part. So Fulgencio nicks it forward. Wenzel screams, I won the ball there. I mean, Aon is always going to look to make the most of that contact, because contact there certainly was. Let's see if Wenzel... No, he didn't get the ball, did he? Yeah, just to roll it down a bit. Aon, the clock. And players still do that, don't they? Even though they know we have 5 to 10, anything from 5 to 10 minutes of stoppages bolted onto the end of matches these days. Carrillo moves forward. Eric Lira here on the money with this free kick. Fulgencio just ran ahead of there of Carrillo. See back from Fulgencio, slips it back to Isaias. Lira. Fernandez. Foul given against Brooklyn Reigns. Cross to the near post. Loose ball breaks, and it's in. It's 3. Carrillo has 2. And that could be the bronze medal locked down now for Mexico here at the Pan Am Games. The US very slow to react to the danger. They only half scuffed away the first attack, and it broke to Carrillo, who was ended up rolling it over the line. I mean, he's tucked it in pretty well there, Jordan Carrillo, for his second goal of the match. It's too easy, this. A little bit of pace from Fulgencio. And certainly Isaias wasn't offside, was he? Dealt with at the near post, but that loose ball is squeezed home by Jordan Carrillo. He's actually done really well to poke that right into the corner. Cuevas can't adjust to keep it out. A little bit unlucky there, Williams, the captain. The ball kind of cannons off his heel, and it breaks for Carrillo. 3-1 now. Already the US were looking a little bit short of ideas. Now they just have to throw everything here at Mexico. Casas hits the shot. After the little bit of play from Panayotu, Casas doesn't get hold of that at all as he might have liked. Here we go, Nico Carrera is coming on here. One of the players who's going to be introduced, Rodrigo Neri as well. So that's a defender, a ball-playing defender in Nico Carrera, the squad captain, one of the under-17 World Cup players for the USA with Neri. But here come the USA, Panayotu racing into the box. Casas. Cross again isn't good, is it? So frustrating. So frustrating. And that's just me, a neutral, saying it. Goodness knows what's going on with Michael and Cian. Next time the ball goes out of play, it will be a case of substitutions here. Yeah, like now. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's see how they go. Says Michael and Cian again. A long ball launch forward. Freeman gets it back into Panayotu. Cuevas is withdrawn, so they'll just rearrange the back line. And Neri for Ikoba, that's the obvious change.
Substitution. United States of America. Out. Number 11.
Edson Aon, he's done his bit. He's chipped in with some useful touches. Ali Avila, the 20-year-old Monterrey striker, is coming on here for Mexico just to see it out. So they're going to keep that shape with a 2-up.
Number 4. Nicolas Carrera. Substitution in Mexico. Substitution in Mexico. Out. Number 10.
And Carrillo as well is going to be replaced by Sebastian Perez of Juarez. So he's done his bit, and there's rare pitch time for Perez, the 20-year-old midfielder. The shape is kept, that's good to see. They're not locking things up just yet. Shot is too high. That's what they may be reduced to here late on. Brooklyn Reigns has really gone for that there. No, off target. So the USA, their under-19 team. It is, of course, Olympic team territory here with this tournament, but I mean, these players won't be playing for the US in Paris next year. US who have qualified for the men's Olympic tournament. I mean, the qualifying tournament won by the US, booking one of their spots. Mexico failed to qualify, beaten in the quarterfinals by Guatemala in the CONCACAF under-20 competition, staged in June 2022 in Honduras. That meant that they failed to qualify for the under-20 World Cup for the first time since 2009. Again, the goalkeeper can only push it out. Luck really helping the US out there. And simultaneously meant that they will miss out on the Olympic Games. Mexico, the 2012 Olympic Games champions, remember. This is a good run by Freeman. That's the fullback, showing the attackers how to do it. Casas sweeps the ball wide. Panayotou, there's Neri there. Well cleared, good defending. A bit of spark, finally. But it took the right back to do it, Alex Freeman. Striding forward like that and slipping the ball out wide there to Panayotou. And one replacement almost laying on a goal for another. Good challenge. Good block from the header. It's going to drop to Fulgencio. US to run it clear. Potential for a counter-attack. Kuri Pietro's done well. Shaking off the defender. And Kuri Pietro well forward here. Again, it's wide to Panayotou. Much, much better, though. When they're more attacking, they're more direct, they're more confident. Running at the heart of the Mexicans. Defenders never like pace or dynamism. May have left it too late here, the US, and obviously committing players forward. Leaves gaps at the other end. Fulgencio tries to slip it through, no. Coville well back. Freeman again. Carrera. Blocked off by two green shirts.
Substitution. United States of America. Out. Number 18. Sustitución en Estados Unidos de América. Sale número 18. Javier Casas. In number 6. Entra en número 6.
Dan Lever for Javier Casas. When the director decides to show us, that's the last change here. So Cuevas has been red carded. A shot over the top. Well, what was that for? Oh dear. I endeavoured to keep you abreast of it. But we have seen Dan Lever for Javier Casas at the base of that midfield. So that's the 5 changes made that USA have permitted, 5 for Mexico. So 10 players on the pitch that didn't start. Yeah, Fulgencio for Arciga again. Told that had already happened, thus completing the 5 and 5. But okay, Arciga then for Fulgencio. One of the scorers today. Mexico looking for more joy. Lever is well back. Slotted into the middle. It's Brigido, one of the substitutes. There goes Brigido. He's tangling with Nico Carrera, does well. Carrera does really well. They might have suffered a little bit here for the rotation. I mean, you would have thought Nico Carrera, as the squad captain, would have been a shoe-in here to start, but hey-ho. There's Lever. Pass is heavy, and it's going to trickle out of play. Yeah, there's endeavour for sure, but the quality has just been a little lacking again here for Team USA. Good header. It's well won. An attack from deep here from Coville. Panayotu. Coville will remain forward. There's 4 here in the penalty box area for the US. Freeman. Good cross. It's too high for Coville. Again, just that percentage point off from completing the attack there, the USA. So the last time Mexico didn't get a medal at the Pan Am Games in men's football, 1987, and even then they were in the bronze medal match, but they lost it on penalties, 5-4 to Argentina. Don't think there'll be any need for penalties this time round, because the US lost their way at the start of the second half. Attacking late on here. Look, a better outfit with Panayotu in the team. But it seems that they are going to be denied, after all, a medal on the return to the men's football for the first time since 2007. Very loose from Mexico on the free kick. And Freeman playing as an auxiliary attacking player now. Still going. Freeman doing really well and taking the 2 Mexicans with him. Well, Freeman, excellent. Excellent from Alex Freeman. Forces the corner. Nodded down by Neri. Mexico sitting back, but snapping in with the challenge as and when necessary. Fernandez, Brigido, might be a chance here. The US are understaffed. Brigido round the back of Carrera. It's still Brigido switching it across for number 4. Mexico running away with it. It's Avila with more or less his first touch, just to wrap up bronze. Easy, really, on the counter-attack. Well played by Brigido. Again down the left. That's the problem when the right back, in Freeman's case, just pushes up to that extent, because there's no one back there. So they attack down the US's right here, Mexico. There's only a token challenge, not even a challenge there by Carrera on Brigido. He just lets him go. And then the easiest goal he'll ever score, Ali Avila. The Monterrey player. And in Avila's last match for his club Monterrey was red carded. He uses an impact sub here against the United States, well, not just against the USA, against everyone in this competition. But he has his goal, and we're into stoppages. There'll be 4 minutes here.
Additional time. 4 minutes.
Goalkeeper well out, just to deflect the danger. Long time ago, wasn't it, that the USA actually took the lead in this match? The start of the second half was where it all went wrong for them, and the withdrawal of Norris. They might even concede again here. Arcega was away. That time that the cross wasn't a terribly pinpoint, and Brooklyn Reigns hopes against hope that something can be fashioned here. And Cudi Pietro again with Freeman. Been about their best player in the last 20 minutes, Freeman. Two defenders there, shutting down the angle. And yeah, it's well dealt with in the end by Fernandez. Brigido delayed before releasing Avila. Again, Mexico in no great hurry now. Brigido, always rising. So it'll be a goal kick, but the last 90 seconds just to be played out here for Cardena, who has carried on in the rich tradition of delivering a medal for Mexico in men's football at the Pan Am Games. And the Mexican Federation will leave happy, won't they? The women won the gold. The men have taken away the bronze medal. Taking the competition thoroughly seriously and rewarded with the pair of medals here. So this crazy run of success for Mexico's men at the Pan Ams continues. 91, silver. 95, silver. 99, gold. 2003, bronze. 2007, bronze. 2011, gold. 2015, silver. 2019, bronze. And 2023, that's the bronze medal again for the Mexicans, who have been too good here in beating the United States. We're going to have a slight delay at the end. Eric Lira, just as the referee was about to bring the whistle to his lips here, is going to need a little bit of treatment. Nearly, but not quite. There we go. Confirmation then of another medal in men's football for Mexico. They've taken the bronze for the second games in a row. They're on the